Hey everybody, it's April. Today we're going to work on crow pose, Bakasana. Before we get started, I'm going to point out my leggings are from LuniLegs.com. Their fun patterns and colors make every yoga pose look and feel fabulous. So if you're new to crow pose or have been struggling with crow pose, I encourage you to have a block nearby because I'm going to give you a few ways you can use that block to help you move into the pose. Some other things I want to tell you about crow pose is, yes, it does use shoulder strength, it uses core strength, it also uses leverage. And while it seems like, oh, I have to have all those things in order to do crow, crow also helps you strengthen all those things and get better at those things. So don't be afraid to try it, or at least start working on it, even if you don't feel like you're strong enough. I also want to point out that I was in a workshop once where the instructor said, we do arm balances for strength and self-confidence. And that really resonated with me because I can remember the first time I did crow was a real aha moment. And once you get it, you do experience that delicious feeling of accomplishment. The other thing about crow is it's considered kind of a gateway pose toward other arm balances. So you don't necessarily have to do crow before you move on to other arm balances, but it will start helping you get the feeling a little faster of what arm balances should be like. Before you get started with your crow, I would encourage you to do some wrist stretches, which you can find in some of my past videos. Also to do some sun salutations just to help things get warmed up. Those are also in some past videos. Some abdominal strengtheners. I would suggest that you do plank and incorporate some abs into that. So that's what we're going to start with today. So let's get into a good, strong plank pose. Pressing into the floor, separating your shoulders, pulling in your belly, tightening up your glutes. So you've got a good, strong plank, and then we're going to add on. Lift your right leg, and then bring right knee toward left elbow and back, right elbow and back, and then toward your nose and back. And we're gonna do that a few times. Left, back, right, back, forward, and back. And then we're gonna lower down. The other side, lift your left leg. Left knee toward right elbow and back, left elbow and back, forward and back. We're doing it again. Elbow, back, right elbow, back, and toward your forehead and back. Lower your leg. We're gonna hold that plank just a little bit longer. Ideally, you would want to hold your plank for a minute. Make sure it's good and strong. Keep pulling in your belly, and then we're going to release. Woo-wee. I also like doing some good abdominal crunches. So one of the main things to keep in mind is, like, look how my lower back pops up when I lie down. I'm gonna make sure your lower back presses down, pulling your belly down toward the floor. So right now I'm already activating my abs. Interlace fingers behind your head. Lift your feet so your shins are parallel to the floor, knees are hip distance. Pull your belly down again, take a breath. Lift, and then we're going to twist. Reach right elbow toward left knee, extend right leg. Come back to center, stay lifted. Twist again toward the right, back to center. Now notice I'm keeping my shoulders lifted the whole time. One of the things people tend to do when they're doing in this bicycle version is they go way too fast, and also they're just kind of rolling around from side to side. That's not what you want to do in your abs. You want to keep lifted. That's how you're really going to feel that activation in your core that you're looking for. So now we'll move on to the good stuff. I like to teach crow without using a block, and then show you how you can use a block in case you need it. Because you always want to try to do it without, and then, oh, it's not there today, then you could try adding the block. So you want to start crouching down with your heels up. Separate your knees enough that you can bring your arms in between. And you want to think about pressing your knees against your arms, press your arms against your knees. So there's equal resistance there. Actively pull in your belly. Now turn your gaze out past your fingertips so you're not looking straight down. That's what's going to make you want to tumble if you're not careful. Looking out here just in front of your fingertips. Lift your hips up and then begin shifting your weight forward until your feet become light. Maybe you bring your big toes touching. So notice I wasn't jumping into crow. This is floating into crow. I'm not kidding when I tell you that when you really get that leverage going, your feet will become light. So I'll show you one more time. Squeezing my arms and legs together, pulling in my belly, lifting hips up, and then shifting forward into my hands until my feet become light. Now I know I make it look easy. I've been doing it a long time, but the more I did it, the better I got. So next I'm going to show you how to do it with a block. A lot of times one of the problems people have getting into their crow is getting their hips up high enough. So one thing you can do with the block is bring it under your feet. So you can start out crouching down, bring your balls of your feet on top of the block. So that's going to automatically give you some of that lift that you're looking for as you start shifting forward. So still same thing with everything else, fingers spread wide, pressing arms against legs, pressing legs against arms, engage your abdominal muscles. You know, you just did all that great ab work. Lifting your hips up and then begin shifting forward. And look, your feet are already where they need to be, so you don't have to lift very high when you're starting on the block. Now it's very common in crow to have a little bit of fear of face planting. I mean, and it's a legitimate fear. I will have to tell you though, I've never seen anybody face plant. If anything, when they start falling out of crow, they just kind of fall off to the side. They don't land on their face. But still, if that's one of your fears, you can bring your block out in front of you and you're going to bring your forehead to the block. So one way I try to find where that block should be is getting in position, and this is where my gaze would be if I'm doing my crow. So it's just out in front of me. So same things going on, squeezing everything, pulling in your belly. Go ahead and bring your head down first, then lift your feet. And then maybe you can lift your head, and now you know what it feels like to do crow. So you might be in class at sometimes when the instructor will say that you can go into crow from another pose. One of those in particular is the yogi squat or malasana. And one of the great things about yogi squat is that it's also a bit of a warm-up for your crow pose. So for yogi squat, you're turning your feet out, not a big way, but just out so your knees are tracking over them. And then coming down in your squat, pressing your elbows against the insides of your knees and pressing your knees against your elbows. So that's getting you the feeling, getting you prepared for doing your crow. Tailbone reaching down. This is also a really nice hip opener. From here, if you were moving into crow, keep your arms pressing against your legs. Hands come flat in front of you. Begin lifting your hips up and maybe bringing toes together. Crow is so much fun, and like I said, it's going to give you the confidence to start working on other arm balances. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe to the Looney Legs YouTube channel so you don't miss the next episode. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel, Handstanding Grandma, for even more fun. See you soon.